Hello, I'm Derek Dohren, and today I'm going to read and review my poem Lunch Break. Lunch Break. We sat on park benches opposite one another, an expanse of neutral grass between us. You were eating your sandwiches and I was eating mine. Our eyes met briefly somewhere over the green sea, and I suppose that if this had been a rom-com, the director would have engineered a clumsy yet endearing way in which I could have broken the ice with you. I wouldn't even have to dream it up. The scriptwriters would do it for me, and I'd just learn my lines and sashay on over. I'd do my pratfall as I tried to save you from that seagull that was trying to eat your salmon paste sandwiches. And over the next 20 minutes of screen time, our perfect teeth and our perfect bodies would fall in love. And I'd talk passionately about the sun and the moon and about how they appear to be the same size in the sky, even though the sun is 400 times further away from the earth than the moon is. But eventually you discover my terrible secret, and in my desperate attempts to redeem myself, I'd haplessly fall victim to a gross misunderstanding of your ongoing relationship with Kevin, before we both finally realised that we stood soaking wet on the film studio lot, the water cannon raining down hard on us, that we were made for one another. And I'd bring the sun and the moon thing up again and say that the moon is 400 times smaller than the sun, and that's why they look the same size in the sky when it isn't raining. And that this is either an extremely unlikely coincidence or it's proof of God's existence. And you press your finger to my lips and say, it's neither. Then the director would shout, it's a wrap, and we'd all go home. You'd go on to make a new film with Brad Pitt, and I'd get some voiceover work for the Gloucestershire County Council Transport Executive's Future Vision video entitled Gloucestershire County Council Transport Executive Future Vision. But my sandwiches were finished, so I stood up and you pretended to look the other way. I put the empty wrapper in the bin and I went back to work. So there you go, a rare attempt from me to write a romantic love poem. Now I've nothing against those types of poems per se, it's just that they don't really hold any particular attraction for me. And of course they say that you should write from experience, write what you know. But I don't really understand that either. It leaves so little room to the imagination. Do you have to be a serial killer to write a book about one, for example? I hope not. And so it's true, I don't have a huge amount of experience in the realms of romantic love. And yet, oddly enough, the tale of Lunch Break in a way is entirely real. I really was on a park bench eating my sandwiches at lunchtime when I saw this lady sitting opposite doing the same, and my mind invented this whole what if scenario, which had pretty much fully formed by the time I'd finished eating. Right from experience then, even if the experience is an experience of making something up that never actually happened. I guess that counts, and I can do that. And in itself, that does kind of get to the very essence of what romance is. The whole business of the sun and the moon does fascinate me. The fact they share the sky equally in a 24-hour period, and I marvel at the fact that they appear to us from the earth to be the same size in the sky, making possible those perfect solar eclipses that we get to see every now and then. And the moon is also tidal locked into the earth, so that it always presents the same face to us. We never get to see the other side of the moon. What does any of this mean, if anything? Well, I think it should at least touch something in you, irrespective of whether you're an entirely logical thinker, or you're into some kind of pseudoscience, or you're a believer in the supernatural. It's all amazing. It struck me when I lived out in Spain, in a place where the skies were generally a lot freer of cloud than they are in the UK, how I felt much more connected to the sky. Um, I lived in a place where I could gaze at the stars at night, and where the relentlessness of a blue sky in summer meant there were certain times of the day when you could hardly step outside for more than a few minutes. Um, there was a real sense of that what went on in the sky dictated what happens below. And back in the UK, I think I've kind of lost awareness of that connection, though I try to find some time each day just to look up and see what's happening. Perhaps on a lunch break, just before I put my empty wrapper in the bin. Okay, folks, I think that's just about it for this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. You can find Lunch Break in my new collection, Wasp in My Cockpit, and there is a copy of the poem, as always, in the details box just below here. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already done so, and stick around for the next video, which I will hopefully make in a few days. Until then, thank you and take care.